Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys and talking about the TRD Performance Air Intake that I just installed on my 2019 Toyota Tacoma. This is an OEM add-on option you can get from Toyota for your Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner, FJ Sequoia, and I'm sure a lot of other Toyota vehicles as well. And basically what it does is help increase airflow in your vehicle. And believe it or not, it's actually a really easy and quick install you could do in your garage with some basic tools. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to install it on a Tacoma, and I'm going to show you guys where to get it for a discount. So what this TRD Performance Air Intake gives you over your stock intake is that it provides more free-flowing, colder air. And this basically increases the oxygen per volume getting to your engine, which allows your engine to have higher power output, efficiency, and torque. Now, while these things are difficult to measure, we're going to do our best to see the differences before and after by doing a sound test, and we'll go on a test drive after to see if we feel any difference. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Sparks Parts for sending me over this TRD Performance Air Intake. Sparks Toyota is an authorized Toyota dealership in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but their website, Sparks Parts, is where you can find genuine OEM parts for your Toyota vehicle. They're friendly and their customer service is top-notch, but the best part about them is that their parts are discounted from MSRP pricing, and on top of that, I have a discount code you can use to get 5% off of your order. And who doesn't love a discount code on genuine OEM Toyota parts? The part number for the exact kit I'm installing today on my 2019 Tacoma is up here on the screen, and I'll have a link to it in the description down below. Once you add it to your cart and check out, you can use code ChloeKuo, and that'll get you 5% off of your order. A great thing about installing OEM parts, including the TRD Air Intake Kit that I'm installing today, is that you will not void the factory warranty, even if you install the parts yourself. The parts themselves, including this intake, do come with a warranty, which is really reassuring. So Sparks Parts is where I'm going to be getting all of my genuine OEM Tacoma parts from, and I highly suggest you check out their website if you're looking for OEM parts as well and you want a discount. So taking a look at this intake and what you get in the kit, first off is this brand new upper air box. And obviously one of the big differences is you get this stark TRD red lettering on it. So you completely replace your upper air box. You do keep the lower air box the same, but one of the most important components that you get special with this TRD Performance Air Intake is actually inside the box, is this brand new TRD Performance Air Filter. Now this filter is completely different than the stock filter because it's actually made of surgical cotton gauge and woven aluminum. It's oiled, and when you're installing you can definitely feel that, but one of the great things about this filter is you actually never have to replace it again because it's washable. That was honestly one of the big reasons I decided to get this kit over keeping my stock intake. But beyond that, I specifically like this TRD kit because it's designed with the factory ECU and it's 50 state emissions legal. This is the mass airflow sensor, and all you do is relocate this from your stock configuration, but something new that you also get is a red bellow. The stock one is black, and then you also get a brand new intake tube assembly. Under my engine cover, there's also a brand new red throttle body coupler that connects this kit to the engine. And then it's also hard to see, but down there connected to the lower air box, the kit also comes with a new intake flow accelerator, which looks slightly different from the stock configuration. So that's a quick look of this kit. If you stick around to the installation part of this video, I show you guys each part in more detail. But for right now, let's shut the hood, get in the truck, see how this sounds, and see how this performs. So honestly, I couldn't hear a difference between the two intakes during the startup and rev test. Now I know my setup here is a little crude, but doing some post-processing on the unedited sound of both clips of the rev test The loudest the stock intake measures is -2 dBFS, and the loudest the TRD intake measures is also -2 dBFS. Despite all of this, I took my truck for a test drive before and after, and this was where I actually noticed a difference. First off, the sound is slightly louder with the TRD intake when accelerating, and in these clips you're about to hear, I'm going from about 15 to 45 miles an hour. The sound difference is subtle here, but if you couldn't hear it, my post-processing of the audio for both of these clips does indeed show that I got a little bit more sound with the TRD intake. Putting sound aside though, the biggest difference is really how the truck feels now. I'm pleasantly surprised by the quicker response of my truck with the TRD intake, and it feels like my truck almost got a tune because of the quicker acceleration. It makes sense that I would feel this because the TRD intake provides more oxygen-dense air to my engine, which provides a slight power increase. Another advantage that I didn't notice until a week of driving with this new TRD intake was an increase in my MPG. Now I'm completely basing this off of the truck's computer and what I straight up read from the display, but what I'm seeing on that is an average of 21 on the highway to and from work now, whereas before I used to get somewhere between 19 and 20 MPG. So all in all, you do get a slight sound increase from this TRD air intake, but the biggest difference that it provides is an increase in acceleration and in response. The installation of this TRD Performance Air Intake Kit is actually really easy. It'll only take about a half an hour to do, and what's great is you can use just basic garage tools to get the job done. All I'll need for this install is a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a 10mm socket, and a 12mm socket. You can optionally use needle nose pliers as well, but I was actually able to just do those parts with my fingers. So the first place we're actually going to start is back here. This right here is the mass airflow sensor, so we're going to have to remove it from the current setup and put it on the new TRD setup, and it's held in by these two screws. And then next you're going to remove this wiring harness from the upper airbox. So all you're going to do is pull back and pull up. It should come out just like that, and that'll break the wiring harness free. Next, we're going to remove this hose clamp, which will allow us to release the upper airbox, and to do this, I'm just using a 10mm socket. For the upper airbox, we want to push down on these two tabs, and doing this should allow us to completely remove our upper airbox. Now this is my old filter. I'm not going to be needing this anymore, and the last time I was at the dealership they said it was really bad and needed to be replaced. It doesn't look too bad to me. I mean, these start out as kind of a white yellow color anyways. It is a little bit dirty, but I'm sure with an air compressor I could just blow out a lot of the stuff that's in the filter. Next, in the lower airbox, we're going to remove these two bolts, which are just 12mm. There's also one more bolt down here holding the lower airbox in. And with that, you can remove the entire lower airbox. On our lower airbox, we're going to remove this piece completely. And we're going to replace it with our intake flow accelerator. As you'll see here, there are some cutouts for where it should line up exactly with the lower airbox. So now I'm going to put my new TRD air filter in. Like I said before, this one is made out of cotton, it's oiled. It technically never needs to be replaced for the lifetime of the vehicle. So it actually comes with a sticker as well that says not to throw it away, just in case you get your truck serviced or whatever and they accidentally think to throw this away. But that's pretty much it for the filter. You just drop it in and you're done. Now we're gonna remove the wiring harness from the intake tube. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers, or you can gently pry it out with your hand, just like this. Next, we're gonna lift up our engine cover and we're gonna remove this hose clamp. The last piece we need to remove before we can take out this old assembly and put the new TRD assembly in is this line. So you can use a pair of needle nose pliers to clamp this down, but there's actually not too much tension on it, so I'm gonna try using my hands. And removing that will allow us to completely take the old assembly out. So now that we have the old stock assembly out, we're gonna start assembling the new TRD Performance Air Intake parts inside our engine bay. I'm gonna work my way from closest to the engine out. So the first piece I'm gonna start with is the throttle body coupler, which as you can see has a notch right here. So that's gonna go closest to the engine side over here. We're gonna take one of our hose clamps as well. And then the other side of that is gonna connect to our intake tube, which also has a notch. We're also going to clamp down our line on our new intake tube. Next, we're going to take our air bellow and put it on our intake tube. It is also notched, so it should be fitting in the correct place. Next, on the new TRD upper air box, I took the clamps from the old upper air box and now I have to put them on the TRD box. So the way they open up is if you just push up, you can see they open up a little bit more. And then we're gonna fit our TRD upper inbox in. Then we're gonna take our wiring harness for our mass airflow sensor and we're going to kind of reverse what we did before. This is the clip from the old airbox assembly. Our mass airflow sensor just goes like this, but this is gonna help us with our, just holding the wire in place. The very last thing we're gonna do is put our two little screws in that hold the mass airflow sensor in. So that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I am pretty impressed with this TRD air intake and I'm definitely excited to keep driving my truck. Again, I want to give a huge thank you to Sparks Parts for supplying this part for my truck. I definitely will be getting all my OEM parts from their website, and if you guys are shopping for OEM parts, make sure to use my code on that website so you can save a little. Let me know if any of you guys out there have this intake, or do you have another intake? What do you think? Are you thinking about getting this intake? I'd love to know in the comment section down below. Other than that, if you want more content from me, you can follow me on my Instagram. It is at ChloeKuoTaco. Thanks again for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.